everyone, hope everyone's doing well. So this week's episode I wanted to do my 40,000 mile 2-year ownership review of my BMW i3. So the i3 is a 2017 model, approximate value around 20 odd thousand, 18 to 20,000 pounds, and it's a four-seater, 5-door hatchback. We've got the battery capacity in kilowatt hours of 33.2. It says approximate WLTP range of 150. Real world range I've been getting between 100 and 130, depending on weather, time, and all that sort of good stuff. Charging time for this car is approximately, I would say, about 30 to 40 minutes on a 50 kilowatt rapid charger, and obviously longer depending on what method you use. It's currently a CCS model with a 11 kilowatt AC as well. There is obviously the 50 kilowatt DC. So I've had this car for 2 years. I've put 40,000 miles on the clock. Well, actually, it started with 3,000 miles on the clock, so I put 37,000. So in 2 years. So I think it provides a good idea to do a review after this time. Any problems, faults? Would I actually buy this car again? So let's take a look around the car first. So if you look around the car has the outward doors. Now this is quite unusual for cars of these days, but this was a first really for the i3, and some people love it, some people hate it. And let's get this right out of the way. So I love and hate those doors. I think they look great, they look cool. They are completely impractical. So anyone that owns an i3, if you pull up next to people and you've got someone in the back, the safety belt is on for yourself, for a driver, is on the back door, which means if you want to let somebody in, you have to undo your safety belt, undo the back door, they go in, lock it, put your safety belt back on. So that's one sort of negative thing. Like I said, the doors look cool, but other than that, so other things I really like about this, I love the iDrive in the car. I think it's fantastic. It's BMW's great work. I think in terms of the app that attaches to that sometimes can be hit and miss and can be down due to server issues. Not as much as others, and in the majority of the time it does work, so that's pretty good. You can obviously preheat, pre-cool your car. You can check on charge status. You can open it remotely. There's a lot of good stuff that you can do with that app, so that's pretty good and pretty functional. Looking around the car's got a reasonable size boot. It's not massive, but I have a 4-year-old daughter, and from pretty much from birth, we had child seat in the back, and then obviously boot space for pram. So there's enough room in there, but it's not massive. In the front, or the front compartment of the car, it's tiny. It's enough what I use, which is things like a wrapped charging cable and things like that. You do have to make sure that you've got that in some sort of bag or something, because that is not waterproof and things can get in there. So just be mindful of that. There's also the gel stuff for your tires and stuff like that in there, so you can put some general stuff in there. Most of the i3 should come with a Type 2 charging cable as well. So that's also pretty good. They can be quite expensive if you get BMW directly. And generally inside it's really nice. Even now, it's a 2017 model, but actually they haven't really changed much since they were first launched, and the actual look and the quality inside are all really nice. I've got the one with the slightly bigger screen inside, and that does make it, personally I think that makes it look a little bit nicer. The look and feel of everything, obviously all the recycled materials and things like that, again, they're things that people may or may not like, but actually personally I really love that. And generally the look of the car I'm a big fan of. And again, this sort of car is very much a Marmite car. You either love it or you hate it. There's never usually anything in between, and it's a really nice, in my opinion, a really nice car. It's got some, like I said, like with the doors, they're a bit silly and impractical, but they look cool. Space wise inside is really good, and it's really surprising for a small car. There's a lot of space. There's no central pillar in the car because of the carbon fiber body, which means when you get in the car, actually there's a hell of a lot of room in there, and it's quite roomy in both in the back and in the front. In the front, there's a central console, but actually at the front where it usually extends up to where underneath the dash, that's all gone. So you can put things at the bottom there. It's got plenty of cubby holes for various bits and pieces. The drive itself is really good. I've driven this car up and down the country everywhere. Those that know me know that I use this car day to day for office driving and up and down the country for various things. I've driven right the way up north to all the way down south, and it's never caused any problems. The charging infrastructure has only got better and better in my opinion, and that will continue to get better. I think that has helped a great deal to make the car for me as easy as possible. I don't have home charging, so public charging is for me as well as my business charging. It charges on a 50 kilowatt charger, so you can get reasonably decent speeds, 20 to 30 minutes for about 70-80%. That's more than enough, gives you a good sort of 90 to 100 miles. And it's a really nice car to drive. Like all EVs, it's nice and quiet, and performance wise is really good. It's not got the highest top 0 to 60, but it's quick enough off the mark. It has various modes. It's not like sport mode like the new i3S, but it's got various modes for like saving energy, turning heating and things like that off if you're low, and things like that, to just normal sort of mode where normal driving, anything on, and that sort of stuff. So you can work out what you need to do to drive the car. So the question is, would I actually buy this car again? So I had a chat a little while ago with a few people about this, and actually for me, I love the car. I'm still probably looking to change it at some point. I've got another 2 years with this car, but actually I love the car. In fact, my only thing, and it's not a bugbear as such, but for me, a real world 200-mile range car is ideal. I don't feel you need really any more than this, although I know Nero and things like that got 300 odd miles, but you don't really need much more than 200 in my opinion with say 100 kilowatt fast charging. So if they could get to the point where you could swap the battery out, and the battery at the bottom of the car is actually swappable, it's just that they don't. I think there's one country, I can't remember where it is, but they can do it. But the whole unit can drop out and then put another one in. Now I don't know the logistics about changing that to something of a higher spec, but it'd be great, and I would personally keep the car after the 2 years if they done two things. One, able to change that battery at a reasonable price instead of paying for another 15-20 grand car, and then also whilst the software is updated, I don't think it's updated enough. They don't kind of refresh the menus and things like that. They give sat-nav updates and charging locations updates and various things like that, and maybe a few efficiency type stuff, but they don't seem, BMW don't seem to really refresh it unless you go to the next model like i3S, where it's got slightly different menus and things, but nothing dramatically different. So that personally are the only kind of two things that would maybe prevent me from keeping this car after 2 years. And even I think if I was buying this again, I think I still would. Currently I would still buy it. You can still get it at a reasonable price, and a lot less than some of the cars with sort of 300 plus range. But obviously it's down to your circumstances at the moment. It fits me, it works for my family as well. So I personally really like the car. I've driven it for long enough now to really kind of get used to all its quirks and things like that. There's probably one thing in some high winds, because of the how tall the car can be, or tall the car is, you can get a little sway, but it's not so skittish as I think as what most people make out. And in fact, in the i3S, they've changed that quite a lot by making it more planted, and the suspension and everything else. So I think if you were buying it now, or if I was buying it now, I may go through the i3S instead of just the normal i3. So yeah, to sum it up, fantastic car. No problems in the last 2 years. In fact, in the last 2 years, all I've done is change tyres. It's gone through MOT and service. Sorry, not MOT. It's gone through the service with BMW, which was included within the car package, and that went through and just said you need tyres. I wasn't going to go to BMW for those because they're too expensive, but I got new tyres, and there is actually a video on my channel for the tyres and the right ones that you need and stuff like that. So check that out. But yeah, there's not really been any issues. That, you know, there's nothing to go wrong on this car, and I've not had one issue with the car since I've had it, which is a godsend and a complete difference to previous cars I've owned, you know, diesel and petrol and stuff like that, where countless things went wrong, or, you know, high cost of ownership and maintenance and things like that. Not the cheapest cars to own and buy up front, but they are great cars, and I would certainly recommend one if you're looking for an EV at the moment. Have a look around, see what best fits for you, you know, in terms of the actual real world range you actually require, and then have a look around. There's plenty of cars on the market now, and there plenty will be, I think, in the coming years, that will suit everyone. So that's the wrap up of my 2017 BMW i3 after 2 years and 40,000 miles. Here's to another 40,000. The battery and lease, that's not the lease, the battery warranty is, I think it's 8 years and 100,000 miles. BMW have already reported via Panasonic that the batteries can last 500,000. We've already seen more cars that can do longer than that. So I think there's a long time left in the car. There's no battery degradation whatsoever, so that's good as well. But anyway, that's the wrap up of the video. Hope you like this video. Keep safe, everyone, and hopefully more videos in the coming days and weeks. All right, take it easy. Bye bye.